No one is coming to save you, but that's actually the best news you will ever hear. In our society, a lot of women are conditioned to believe that the perfect fairy tale, the perfect love, the perfect knight in shining armor is coming to save them. At a certain point, it's really important to recognize that we are in the driver's seats of our own lives, and it's up to us to create the life that we actually want. If you're sitting around waiting for someone to rescue you and waiting for the perfect fairy tale romance, newsflash, it's not happening. So it's time for you to step up or stay stuck. Welcome back to the Stella podcast. Don't forget to subscribe because there are new episodes every single Thursday. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Factor meal boxes. Factor delivers fresh, nutritionally dense, and chef prepared, already made meals right to your doorstep. They only take minutes to heat up and they are fresh and never frozen. You can get 50% off your first order and free shipping with my link below, so definitely make sure that you check them out. Not sponsored, but an affiliate link is used. With the rise in wife content and feminine energy content, I think it's really important that we remind ourselves to still be a girl boss and a boss babe. If you are so desperate to find the perfect relationship or to find even things like financial security in a partner, in a man, babe, it is time to stop with all of that. And that is not to say that you can't want a partner or have certain requirements for a partner, like being financially stable or whatever the case may be. But when you are operating out of that desperate energy, you are going to attract predators and people who wish to take advantage of that because they can sense that you will kind of fall for anything. Something we often hear is you have to love yourself before a relationship or before anybody else can love you. And people have very mixed opinions on that statement. Certain creators have even gotten hate for saying that, which I think is a little silly. But I do think there's some truth to that, and I think in going a little bit beyond, it's like you need to create a life that you like, that you love, that you are proud of, that you feel calm in. You need to find your passions and truly align yourself with all of that instead of seeking typically a romantic relationship, but even like a friendship to fill the void. Because if you have this idea in your head that you're not complete without someone else, you're not complete without a man, you need a boyfriend, this and that, again, it gives off a very desperate energy, and it just becomes a lot easier for people in the dating pool, and specifically more predatory, manipulative types, to manipulate you into thinking that they are what you want, when in reality they're just kind of trying to fit the mold to what your expectations are so they can get what they want out of you. But when you are secure in yourself and in your own life, and when you are happy with your own life and you're not desperate for a relationship or for somebody else, you're going to see through the BS a lot quicker. And you're going to be a lot more selective when it comes to choosing a partner because you know that you're going to be good regardless. And I think that is, a healthier way to kind of take that quote, like, you can't find love until you love yourself. It's like somebody, especially a man, should not be able to have access to you and come into your life unless they are truly adding to it and you're benefiting from it. But I think so often a lot of guys will take advantage of the fact that they know a lot of girls just want to settle down and get married and have kids and be in a committed relationship. So again, they will play the part to get what they want out of you, whether that's sleeping with you, somewhere to stay for the night, emotional support, for you to cook for them, whatever. And they know really the only way to get that out of you is to make you think and believe that they are giving you what you want when they're not actually doing that. So desperation really repels the things that you actually want. I think even going beyond relationships, in anything, in like money, in jobs, and just alignment with what it is you truly want. Again, if you're operating from a desperate energy, you become a little blind to certain opportunities and things that may actually be a great option for you because so much of your brain space is occupied by like fear and what if I'm not good enough and like all this self-doubt and even just doubt in the world or in the universe. So you're kind of looking at things and feeling things through that lens of insecurity and of fear. When if you switch and if you're able to gradually come to a more grounded, self-confident place, okay, I'm qualified. I deserve this. I'm going to step up to the occasion, rise to the occasion rather than just self-doubt and quit before I even try. Switching from this more abundant mindset rather than a lack mindset of like, oh, I'll just settle for this job or settle for this relationship that I don't actually like or that is actually draining me because what if there's nothing else out there? We want to get out of that energy. And as soon as you kind of put trust in yourself and in the universe and just in your life, you open yourself up to so many more opportunities. A lot of this also comes down to how you view yourself. And I'm going to give you guys an example. I think it's very common, and I don't want anyone to feel bad if you think like this or if you're like, damn, that's me, because it's something that you can work on, and it's not your fault, you know, if you do feel like this about yourself or your life, because I think, especially as women, you know, insecurity is kind of drilled into us. Like, we're made to feel small from the very beginning. I had a friend who was looking for a new job, and she was applying to all these different places, and she was talking about this one job that she wanted, and she would have totally actually been overqualified for this, in my opinion. And she was like, oh, I don't know, like that place is really nice, like they probably wouldn't hire me. And I'm like, girl, coming from an outside perspective, like this girl is smart, she's pretty, she, you know, she has a degree, she went to school, like she would totally be qualified for this. And literally the only thing holding her back was just that she was doubting herself so much. And this just, it literally like seeps out into everything, like, ew. But it comes out in anything that you do. So even if she had decided like, okay, I'm just gonna apply just in case, then maybe at the interview, because you have this image of yourself in your head, like, I'm not qualified for this, this job is too chic for me, this is out of my realm, you're gonna give that energy off. Versus viewing yourself as somebody who's like confident, like, I got this, I can impress these people. And I don't want to say like be cocky, but just be confident. You're going to give off such a different vibe, and people just respond so much better to that and just so much differently to that. So this really comes down to mindfulness and being able to catch yourself when you are having those, it's like little thoughts, but they have such a big impact on, again, how you view yourself and therefore how you act. So not only is it about talking to yourself like, no, I actually am qualified for this, or no, I got this, or like doing your affirmations, but it's also about proving to yourself through your actions that you have your own back, that you will do what you say, that you are reliable, responsible, all of that, that you can handle stressful situations. And this comes down to following through on promises you make for yourself. Like if you say, I'm going to go to the gym at this time, you try, you know, to the best of your ability to do that. If you say, I'm not going to eat out this week, you follow through with that. Build up your confidence in yourself more and more. Like, it's not just, oh, look in the mirror, say I look good, say your affirmations. Like those things can all help, but it's really about those actions, like it is with anything. In dating, you're not supposed to just listen to what the guy is telling you. He's going to tell you a lot, but you look at his actions. What is he actually doing and following through on? And that goes for anything, like friendships, work relationships, like literally anything. I also really think that having this level of self-confidence is just the true ultimate key in avoiding so many harmful situations, you know, because if you are acting out of desperation, narcissists and just these really predatory guys, that's what they look for. You know, I always think of this, it was like a TikTok of a Shira 7 Live, and she was like, I could walk into a room and tell the victims. That really like just hit me, because I was like, that's so true. Like, you can feel when someone's really being a people pleaser. And like, from my perspective, probably your perspective, it's like, if you're kind of on this journey of like self-improvement, overcoming people pleasing, just trying to like be a better girly pop, assert yourself, like have more self-confidence. Like if you see that in someone else, like another girl, at least for me, I'm like, oh, like that's that thing. Like I used to do that, or like I see what that is. Like she's people pleasing, or like I feel the kind of like uncomfortable vibe. But like someone who's like wanting to take advantage of that is going to be like, oh, this is my opportunity. Like this is one, you know? That's why you got to be strict and you got to work on it, because once they can tell like, oh, this is a good one, they're going to make it their mission to entrap you basically. And that's really how these like abusive relationships start. This is how you get taken advantage of, like in work, if they're always asking you to do more and more stuff and not like compensating you for it. Because people can feel when you're not going to speak up, and when you don't want to say no, and when you just want to like fawn and people please. If you have the feeling, oh, I actually don't want to do that, or like I want to say no, but I feel like, oh my God, what if they don't like me? What if I'm being mean? No, you got to think they're going to take advantage of me if I don't say no. So let me say no and be a little uncomfortable now versus like have a lifetime of bad things. So having your own back, it's so important. And again, you can really practice this by just following through on what you tell yourself you're going to do. I think especially just due to our society and like politically speaking and all of that. So this whole feminine energy thing, I feel a little personally, I don't want to say conflicted, but I feel a little like less drawn towards that because number one, some of these feminine energy coaches, like a lot of them, I don't think like Shira Seven specifically, but she doesn't just talk about that, you know, but some of these like feminine energy, like how to date, bro, they are super right-wing, like crazy pants, like especially when you go to their Twitters, like that's when you can find out. This one girl, she's live on TikTok every day telling you how to secure a provider man, feminine energy, this and that, and some of her advice is good, but then it's like, oh, be careful who you take your advice from. And then it's also kind of, you know, conflicting because on one hand, it's like, I think there is definitely an imbalance in our society of like feminine versus masculine energy. And our society is very like masculine energy focused, and even how the workday is structured and like women's hormone cycles. And it's just not like nothing's really made for us in that way or with that in mind. But when people are advising you to just like completely act a certain way, and you know what I hate is like when you're watching an advice video or like reading something, I hate when people start saying things like, oh, the right man will make a woman submissive, like, or like, yeah, I pay all the bills because she'll be that much more submissive. It's like, no, like, I don't know about y'all, but I just don't like want that personally. Like if you want that, that's fine. But just saying that's also how bad things can happen. It'll always be like a street interview and the guy's like, oh, do you believe a man should pay all the bills? And the man will, some of the guys will be like, yeah, because it'll make her more submissive. And all the comments will be like, I need this. I need a relationship like this. No, y'all don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And again, maybe some of y'all want that, but I don't think that's ultimately... Like, it's just, I will pay everything because it will make her unable to really have a voice or a say. And I don't think that is the answer, and not to be like that friend that's too woke or anything, but no. Like, no. A lot of us girlies have really amazing, creative, you know, dreams that give us passion and that we're excited about, and they give us that feeling of purpose and like connectiveness and like wanting to make the world a better place and like, you know, building community and all of these amazing things. And I think going in that direction is so much more important than going in the direction of like, well, I just want my bills paid, so I'm just gonna like couple up with this guy and like watch all these videos of how to secure a guy that will pay for everything, even though the advice is also telling me to make myself small and like basically women should be seen and not heard, and like wear these little outfits. Oh, you should wear this because it looks like you can't do anything physically, so your man will do more things for you. I don't even know if it exists, because then it's like I don't believe in like, oh, we should like split everything 50-50 because men still benefit from our society. So it's like, bro, you expect me to like have kids and like literally give birth and then also pay half the bills. Bottom line, a lot of women just need to decenter men more. It's not about being a pick-me, like, oh, I pay the bills for my man, but then it's also not, I'm the perfect submissive girl for the right man who pays all my bills. But then it's also like you take it a level even further, and it's like, I think a lot of women also want this like, oh, soft girl era, because it's just hard to exist in our society, and it's like stressful, and sometimes you just want to break, and it's like, damn. But that's not like the answer to like get yourself in a bad controlling situation where you have like no voice and no say and you just have to like look good. Like some y'all will be like, goals, like yes. No. And again, especially in this current political climate, I'm kind of like, no soft girl era, bro. Like, well, I'm bringing back the girl boss era. I want a girl boss so hard that we actually reverse time back to like 2012. True luxury is independence. It's waking up and not feeling like this burden, stress of being in an abusive relationship, so reliant on somebody else that you can't make any decisions by yourself. Like, independence, babe. Doing what makes you happy. Being in the driver's seat of your own life. Also, can we just talk about this? Like, I was gonna make a TikTok about it, but I'll just say it here. Once you just get to this point, bro, like, how I feel is I don't really feel like dating right now. I just, like I'm saying, all my energy is like going into myself. When you are prioritizing yourself, like, you just really peep all these little red flags in early dating. So what's so annoying is like when a guy asks you out, does everything right, you know, picks the place, picks the time, checks in with you early in the morning, day of, etc., pays for the bill, but then like the whole date is negging. Like, now you're wasting both of our times. It's just really crazy when you peep, because it's like you went to the effort to like cross the room for me or do all this stuff, and now you're like doing these little neggings to see if I'm insecure or to see if I'll fall for your BS. And I'm aware of that, so I'm peeping that, so I'm not going to want to see you again. And it's like, okay, cool, bye. Like, they really rely on you being insecure, being easily manipulated. And it's like, I just, at this point right now, don't have it in me to like, okay, well, manipulate him back, or like, this is what you say back. Like, I just don't even want to be around the energy at all. But it's like SMH, but it's also really freeing in a way, because you just avoid so many potentially harmful situations or just BS, and it's just so much more peaceful. I think that is something that a lot of people don't even really know is an option, because we're just like, a lot of women especially, because we're just so used to like the mental games and like all, like, not even just in dating but just in life, you know, again, starting from when we're young, like just this constant, oh, am I qualified enough? Like, oh my God, I don't know. So when you can truly center yourself and put your own perception of yourself in your life before anything else, it's very hard sometimes to like unlearn these layers, but that is true freedom and independence and alignment, and so many other things fall into place, and you just realize like how many things don't matter that mattered maybe to you before, because it's just like not important anymore. So is it the brain fully developing? Is it the conditions of society? IDK, but you gotta move different to think different, to have your life be different, to feel different. So I would love to hear your thoughts on any of this. Episode is your permission slip to start living for yourself. Don't forget to share this podcast episode on your IG story if you like. Follow, because new episodes are posted every Thursday, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, everyone.